104.5 The Team, your home for New York sports. We're trying to get you everything you need to win your bracket in your office, and who better to go to than the man himself, Brandon Lang. Brandon, I need help because I refuse to lose to Sharon in Human Resources for the second straight year.
Well, then, if that's the case, she's got to be pretty hot, because I tell people all the time, if you're going to do a bracket and you're in an office of 30 or more people, go outside your door and find two people. Find the hottest chick in the place who's doing her bracket based on uniforms and how cute the point guard is, and that woman over 65 that's got no clue whatsoever, that had a memory from 50 years ago in Iona of a guy she met at a train station. So find those two people right there, and you're definitely going to win your bracket.
So you just use whatever they agree on. Those are your locks for your bracket.
Because when that office pulls all over and Gertrude or Brittany take it home, you're like, how's that possible?
I'm gonna have Brittany just.
I always say, if you can't hit 3 of the 4 Final Four, and then the national champ, you're not winning your pool, because the majority of your points come from the Final Four and the championship winner. So don't get caught up so much in the early rounds and trying to pick those upsets, but just make sure that you have 3 of the 4 Final Four and then your national champ. And only twice in the last 20 years have we had all 4 number ones, and only think 4 times in the last 20 years we've had 3 number ones. So for the most part, you're only going to get 2 number ones, if only one. So kind of work of between a 1 and a 4 seed and kind of figure out which number ones are going to go down, and kind of work off that platform. And if you kind of can stick with those parameters, you should be okay.
Brandon Lang of BrandonLang.com. They've got all 10 big-time handicappers have their brackets up for you to look at. Right now we're talking to them on 104.5 The Team.
So I'm trying to figure out which number one to eliminate, and I think Oregon's the worst, but I think they have probably the most wide-open bracket. I think North Carolina's really good, but they could lose to Kentucky or Indiana. Who should I knock out off the one line?
I think you're right on the money. Michigan State should have been a 1. Virginia got it. Michigan State will beat Virginia. I have them meeting in the Elite Eight. This will be the 3rd time in 3 years they're gonna meet. Michigan State's beat them the prior 2 times. People don't realize Michigan State's lost 1 game when Denzel Valentine's been 100%, and that was the Purdue game they lost in overtime. He came back. They were undefeated when he got injured. They lost every game without him. He came back about 75% and played against Nebraska. They lost 72-71, and since then, they haven't lost again except the 1-point loss to Purdue. So I have Michigan State winning it all. I think Oregon's going to have fits with St. Joe's. If they get by there, I think they're going to have fits with Texas A&M, who I have going out of the West. And I think Kansas dodges some landmines. Guys, I say this every year. There are coaches in this tournament that coach loose. There's coaches in this tournament that coach tight. Bill Self coaches tight. Jay Wright coaches tight. Jim Loranga coaches loose. Tom Izzo coaches loose. So when they're in a position with their squads, there's a reason why Kansas struggles in those early rounds, and Villanova, but why Tom Izzo every year is sniffing the Final Four. So that's what I have. And then I got a rematch of a great game that happened in December. Michigan State, Kansas at Chicago. Kansas got out to 13-point second-half lead. State rallied back. Freshman Matt McQuaid hit a couple of big jumpers in the last 2 minutes, and Michigan State came back and won. So I think that's going to be our rematch. I think Izzo cuts down the nets.
Legendary Vegas handicapper Brandon Lang with us right here on 104.5 The Team. Brandon, everybody loves the Cinderella stories in the tourney. If you had to pick one of the teams that you thought as a higher seed would make their way through, who would it be?
There's a couple. There's a couple this year I like. Don't sleep on Iona.
Really?
Here's a team that went 4-6 out of the box. Their stud English had a hurt wrist, and they got off to a terrible start. Once he came back and he was 100% healthy, this team has gone on an absolute tear. 4-point loss to Rider, 8-point loss to Monmouth, and then down the stretch a 3-point loss to Siena. Other than that, they haven't lost a game. Don't sleep on Iona over Iowa State. If people haven't seen Iona play, they can score the basketball, and they're playing about as anybody right now. Hawaii, a 13 seed sitting there, and I tell you what, 14 seeds. Fresno State, I think, is a dangerous 14 over Utah, and then Arkansas Little Rock, a 12 over Purdue, if you haven't seen a Little Rock play. Second highest win percentage in this tournament besides Kansas. So Little Rock, Hawaii, and Iona are three Cinderellas that I think could shock the world.
I love Iona and Little Rock, and I want to pick them both to win. How rare is it to get the 12 versus 13 second-round game? Should I back off both of those and just go with one?
You know, that's funny. That's a great point because I didn't really think about that. No, because I'll say it again. If you're right, you've just taken a huge step in your pool. If you're wrong, you're still probably got Virginia going to the Sweet 16, and you're losing a couple points there, taking both the 12 and the 13 in that bracket. But of the two, I would say Little Rock has the bigger hurdle because of the size of Purdue, but I think Little Rock's going to cover that number. I think Iona beats Iowa State. I really do. I don't think people realize how good offensively Iona is, and Iowa State's not the greatest defensive team, so it's a matchup for Iona that favors them a lot.
Brandon Lang joins us from BrandonLang.com. Now, for me, I'm at the point now, Brandon, where I'm sitting here and I've got probably about 5 brackets. Are you the one bracket guy, or do you just like shotgun blast it like I do and try to get one of them right out of the 5?
I have, one bracket up, as do all my handicappers at BrandonLang.com. They've all posted a bracket, so that you can go there, look at their brackets for free. I did one, but I'm about to make a change and get Iona instead of Iowa State. Now that I've fallen in love with Iona, so I got to make that change here today. But and then I have a pretty big money pool that I am, where the initiation is, or the get in, the ante is 5 figures with 2 other guys. That's like your Calcutta, if you will. So I do that every year. I tend to give a few picks and let my other boys handle that. But that's a big one I'm in, and that's it. I have just 2 because it's for me it's a day by day progression, and trying to find out who my best bet's going to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and trying to get that 4-0 sweep on the website, which is vitally important to get out of this first round with some momentum.
BrandonLang.com is where you get that information. You got a 1-day free pass coming?
Unbelievable. 11 best bets for free. Wait till Thursday and get the whole first round. Every guy's best bet. And see what my guys are about. Read their analysis. See if they know what they're talking about, and see what kind of start the website's going to get off to. In a business, guys, where everybody wants something up front, I never do. If you're going to wager on sports for entertainment purposes and need some guys to guide you, I think my guys are a pretty one-shop stop. I really do.
Perfect. BrandonLang.com, where that happens. Last time we saw you, all right, here's the thing, Brandon Lang. Every time you're on this show on 104.5 The Team, somebody comes up to me the next time I'm out, wherever I am. I can't believe Brandon Lang, and then, finish the story here. Hung out with Michael Jordan, met the real entourage, was their guy, hung out with Jack Nicholson on a golf course. We live vicariously through you. So do you have any cool story for somebody to come up to me next time I'm pumping gas and go, did he really?
So, I'm at Riv. I'm sitting in the caddy shack. Waiting for an afternoon loop, just grinding, getting ready to go home. And lo and behold, phone rings and says, hey, a couple guys going 9 holes, want a caddy. Get up here, quick. I'm like, okay, great. As I'm getting ready to run out of the caddy shack, he goes, listen, just meet him in the first fairway, because the first fairway is a par 5 and down below. And so I'm waiting in the first fairway. Here comes the golf cart, and it's Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. and I'm just like, it's just not reality. And they're flying down, and I go, let's go. And they go to their balls, and they're playing 9 holes pretty fast. And they're hitting, and just a very, very not serious at all. I think Brady, I think Brady was the member, and Aaron's out there, and he invited him to play, and so I got to tell you, 2 very engaging guys, super, super nice guys, and again, in that situation, if they feel like talking, then you can pry their brain and talk to them about football. When they're just all about golf, be the caddy. And that's one of the great things about what I was able to do at Riviera with the celebrities and with the athletes, is if they wanted to talk, I could engage them in conversation and hold my own. If they just wanted the professional caddy, then I could be the professional caddy. And it was a bummer because I had some unbelievable questions to ask them that never came up. And then I was only at Riviera for about another 6 months before I retired, and I never got them again. But standing in that first fairway, watching Brady and Aaron Rodgers come flying down on a golf cart, guys, I got to tell you, great 9 holes with them. Both not bad players, and pretty great guys.
That's fantastic. Brandon Lang, BrandonLang.com. Thursday, you get the 1-day pass, 11 picks. It's basically I'm proving how good I am right from the rip. I love that. I like put your money where your mouth is, and that's what Brandon Lang does.
Well, listen, again, you're just trying to get on the right side of some of these games, and I can't tell you enough. Just as your boy said, Iona plus the 7.5 is unbelievable value. The total's the highest total on the board, 167. Could be like an NBA All-Star game. And then Arkansas Little Rock plus the points. And don't sleep on Hawaii. They got a guy, he'll be a top 10 pick from Serbia. Don't sleep on Hawaii. I'm telling you guys, they are going to give fits all night long in their first-round matchup, so don't sleep on Hawaii.
Brandon Lang, BrandonLang.com. Don't sleep on him because I feel like you never sleep with all the stuff you know.
No, my wife says, how can you function on 4 hours sleep? I'll get done handicapping at 12, and I'll watch Forensic Files for 2 hours, and my wife thinks I'm trying to plot how to kill her because I'm so into Forensic Files. So I'm not. I would never do that, but I got some good ideas.
Brandon, we got to do this more often, man. We love you. Thanks for making time.
Got it, guys. We'll talk next week.